Welcome to Blunt Force Kitchen. We have some great stuff in store for you today. We're going to be making an assortment of medicated flans, and we are just beginning with jumping right into making the caramel sauce. Okay, so now this is a slow process. I'm heating up the sugar. We have approximately a cup to 2 cups of sugar, depending on the size of your portion. I went with closer to 2 cups. Actually, I'm gonna put a little more, just in case, a little more on there. And the first step that you have to do with making medicated flan is you have to get the sugar and make a caramel sauce. The backbone of flan is a caramel sauce. So you start out with sugar. Now you can use any kind of sugar, but I like raw turbinado fair trade sugar. You know, it's nice to get the kind that's fair trade if you can. If you can get turbinado sugar, that's fine. If all you can get is regular sugar, that's okay too. You know, so that's your first step, is getting that fair trade sugar, getting that raw sugar. And basically what we're doing is we're melting it into a caramel. You can kind of see it already melting there. So that's our first step. Now once we get this, we're going to coat the vessel that we're going to bake the flan in, because flan is ultimately baked, but it's a two-step cooking process for it. There's not a lot of prep, but the actual cooking process of flan takes a lot of work, takes a lot of attention. And when you're doing this part with the sugar, you cannot step away from it, because sugar can burn easy when you're making caramel sauce with it. So, and be real careful, because this is extremely hot. You cannot touch the sauce. It will burn your finger and it will create misery for you. So do not touch the sauce. Be really careful with the caramel. Keep it away from you. See, as you see, like, I'm mixing it up. More of it's melting. You want it all to melt into a liquid form. And it does take a little bit. You have to be a little patient, you know, but you'll get a lot that stuck to the spatula, and that's all fine. So this broadcast tonight is brought to you by Blunt House Media. Big shout out to our friends at Blunt House Media. Big shout out to our friends at Zadalza Entertainment Group. Zadalza is at zenlive.tv. You can catch other great shows like The Hangover Takeover, Zadalza New York, and the Pipe Bomb Sports Show. I like to drop in on the Hangover Takeover. That's my favorite show. And my producer for the show, the Standby Gypsy, is on Monday nights at the Hangover Takeover. So check that out. Big shout out to our friends at Marijuana Heroes too. We had a great show on Friday. It was a Marijuana Heroes edition where we had Rick Simpson on. It was a really cool show, having Rick back on, answering questions. We will have him back on again soon. We had so much fun with that show and so much success. So as you see now, this sugar is melting down into a caramel. And you know, it takes a little while, but eventually it breaks all the way down into a caramel sauce. And this is the very first step you want to take, because you need to have your caramel sauce lining your pan once your flan batter is done. And I'll also do in later weeks, I'll do my flan batter French toast too, which is basically we take this flan batter and we use it for French toast batter instead of traditional French toast batter. Yeah, Lee's like, yeah, that's what's up. So we're getting this almost liquid. You don't want any chunks of sugar in there, because it's all about the flavor on this. Now remember, don't let it burn. Be gentle, move it around. Don't take your eyes off it too long. You will be able to smell it if it's burning, and that will corrupt the flavor. You know, it smells like caramel now, but it will, if it burns, it will make your flan taste like smoke, and you definitely don't want to do that. So this is a very delicate process. Now my mom taught me how to make flan. For those of y'all who don't know, I've mentioned a couple times on the show, my mom was born in Cuba. You know, she came here when she was 16, and you know, gave me the opportunity to have a life here, and it's really cool that she taught me some of the recipes that she learned when she was growing up. And you know, I didn't really like flan when I was a little kid, to be honest. Like I thought it tasted like coffee. I thought it tasted really weird. It can have like a mocha flavor to it sometimes. So I didn't like it then, but now I love it. I just wanted to eat chocolate chip cookies and stuff when I was a little kid. So as you can see, the sugar, the fair trade sugar, has melted into this caramel sauce. Basically, it's very runny. There's still a little chunk of sugar in there. I'll melt that down. And I like to use the rawest ingredients. I like to use organic ingredients. You know, we're using cage-free eggs. You know, sometimes you can't find something organic, and you just have to use what you can use. If you can get the best ingredients possible, obviously that's what you're going to go for. So try to use organic and fresh ingredients. If you're just joining us, this is Blunt Force Kitchen. This is our 3rd edition. Last week we did whipped potatoes, whip-ass potatoes. Today we are on Medicated Flan. So this is a dessert edition. We don't do dessert editions very often. So we have our caramel sauce here. Turn this down to extra low. Super, super low. And now what we're going to do is we're going to coat our pan. This process can be a little sensitive. So we're going to basically coat the inside of this. It's a little bit tricky here, so here goes. I always get a little nervous on this process because this is the one that's so crucial. I try to pour it in a corner so it all stays hot. Now watch out, this stuff is like lava. It will burn you. It will ruin your entire night if it touches your skin. So be really careful with this stuff. It's molten sugar. It will be a source of endless suffering if you're not careful with it. Molten sugar, caramel, coating to accommodate our dessert. And as you see, budgeting the caramel right so it does coat as evenly as possible is something that you want to do. And we still have, okay, so we still have a little bit of space, so I'm going to be a perfectionist and make sure that I cover that space one way or another. I have 2 ideas. One is to take some of that caramel. A lot of it's hardened already, so it doesn't coat it really well. So we're just going to heat the rest of what's in this pan. And this stuff, look how stringy it is. That's how they make cotton candy, actually. They take melted sugar with those little strings of sugar on it. It's kind of crazy. You can eat those too. They're actually pretty good. Crunchy. Okay, so we have a little bit more sugar, so we're going to go ahead and pour this caramel. We'll turn the heat back up on there to make it runny. And then we'll fill in the space that's missing. This will be the right amount right here. Now, some recipes for flan actually call for adding sugar to the batter, but we're using condensed milk, so the condensed milk has sugar in it, and that should add that extra sweetness to the flan batter. We don't have to add extra sugar because this caramel sauce is a sweetener for the flan, and so is the aforementioned sugar that's in the condensed milk. So just get all that in there. Like, don't be shy, just get all that caramel sauce in there. Look at that. And basically this spatula is going to be coated with rock candy when this cools down. It's just like an armor coating of caramel on the spatula. And you can eat that later or whatever when it's not hot. Always be really careful with that, with the caramel, because it's extremely hot. Okay, so now that we got this coated, we can move on to our next task, which will be getting our milk and batter ready. And what we want to do is we want to medicate our milk first. So we're going to move over to that. Got a pan here. We got our decarboxylated cannabis. Now this makes it to where we don't have to have a huge focus on thoroughly cooking the cannabis. The cannabis is already cooked. It's already been heated. As you guys know, I like to use vaporized cannabis to cook. So I get high off of this weed already once, and I'm gonna get high off it again, and really high off it again, and it's gonna be in flan. So, I mean, I'm all about economy, and Blunt Force Kitchen is about using what you have available. So if you have tons of extra fresh weed to use on this stuff, by all means. But I like to show people, the everyday stoner, you know, instead of smoking out of a $2 million bong, I'm going to show you how you can get by and enjoy your cannabis. So now we're going to get some milk in here. You have to measure everything out. Now per egg, I mean for a cup of milk you have 2 eggs. Okay, so we're going to go with 3 cups of milk. Got 6 eggs here. Now if you can get good, healthy, organic, wonderful milk, that's fine. I didn't get special. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. And we have regular milk, we have whole milk. You want to get that because it has all the fat in it. And then we also have condensed milk. Now condensed milk is important. It has a little bit of sweetener in it. We're not going to infuse the condensed milk. We're going to infuse the regular milk. So now this condensed milk is almost 2 cups. It's 14 ounces. So with a splash of milk, that'll be 2/3 of the portion of milk needed for the flan recipe. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the other third and we're going to medicate the other third, which is going to be a cup of milk. So we're going to medicate a cup of milk. Where's our cup meter? Okay, so here's 1 cup mark. So I'm going to, and we're going to be medicating this milk. Now milk is good to medicate because milk has fat in it, and fat is what absorbs the THC. It's what infuses it. You have to have the oils in there because water won't do it. So, and don't do skim milk. I always recommend whole milk. It's dessert. Okay, what are you going to do? Make it healthy? So we're going to get this heat going. And one thing with milk is you definitely want to watch it because milk can burn. It can kind of like create a burnt membrane or layer on the bottom. So we got the milk in there, and it's going to heat up a little bit. And it's basically going to be like a tea is what we're going to do. Is we're going to put this wheat in there, and we're going to brew it like a tea. Now I got 2 different strainers here. I got a big strainer to kind of go over first, and then I got a fine strainer to get the rest of any particulates. You can also get homemade, you can get organic tea bags to brew your wheat milk. You can use cloth. You could even use a sock. I mean, I think in one instance I made wheat oil with a sock, with a clean sock. So, so we're heating up the milk. We're going to get this milk medicated, and then it's going to be ready to get everything else going for the batter. Now, while I'm doing that, I'm going to set the oven, because we have to bake it. I'm going to set the oven to 350. Okay, so it's going to preheat. And then something else I want to point out to you guys is that we have this dish here that has water in it. And I want you guys to remember the water bath is important for baking flan. So get a glass dish like this Pyrex glass, or a huge Corningware, and get some water in there and get that ready before your oven's heated up. We also have pumpkin puree because we're doing themed flans tonight. So we're making pumpkin flan, which is a spin on it. It is basically everything pumpkin pie should be without crust. So while the milk is heating up, we approach the temperature to infuse. Yeah, got a little more of that stringed sugar. Fibrous and delicious. Okay, so I'm going to start stirring this milk. Now with gas, be mindful. I'm cooking with gas, so you have to be really mindful because it will heat up quickly. And this pan, you see you already got a membrane of milk on the bottom there that's kind of cooking. So you got to keep it moving. You got to keep it interesting. And we're going to turn the heat down too. Yeah, we see once you see the steam rising off the milk, it's ready to rock. You're ready to start infusing. So in goes the cannabis, right into the milk, right in there. You have something to strain it, so you don't have to be shy. Unless you're using tea bags, you can use tea bags for this. Organic tea bags are really good. Hemp tea bags are really good for this. But we have our cannabis in with the milk now, so it's infusing, becoming medicated milk. And just to let y'all know, you can make a big batch of milk like this and cool it down and drink it later. You can make okay, so my mom, so guys, just an update. My mom has has chimed in, and she says that hers is better. Her recipe is better. She's original Cuban. So if I even try to even think about arguing with her, do you know that my life will be in danger? I think my show will end early. You guys will see another episode or two, and then I will go missing if I try to dispute the fact of whose flan is the best. Now, she does know how to make authentic Cuban flan, and there are actually aspects to this that don't have the authentic Cuban touch to it. But, you know, it's a little throwback, and like I said, Blunt Force Kitchen, we use what we can here, what we have available. Now, you can smell, you can smell the weed coming out of here. You can smell the infusion going on. This milk is becoming awesome milk. And like I said, you can take this milk, you can strain it out, you can mix it with chocolate, and then you can put it in the fridge and have chocolate, medicated chocolate milk. We'll probably do a video on that, like, in a few weeks as well. Or medicated hot chocolate. I mean, just so many directions you can take it if you know how to infuse your foods. So we're getting pretty close here. I'm going to let this cook on the low just a wee bit here. That that stay nice and warm. Okay, so we got our eggs, we got our sugar. We already used that, so we don't need it. One thing I also want to make sure y'all know our ingredients. We have to have some vanilla extract. Got organic vanilla extract here that we're gonna add to our batter. So I'm gonna go ahead and open these cans up and get this goodness out of here. Now this is organic sweetened condensed milk. You can get like any brand you want, but like I said, if you can get organic, it's usually my favorite way to go. So while I'm drilling this can open and this milk is infusing, I want to thank our friends at Blunt House Media. Our show is powered by Blunt House Media and the Zadalza Entertainment Network. ZenLive.tv is where you can find our friends at the Zadalza Radio Network. They have great shows all week long, in addition to the Hangover Takeover, where our buddy the Standby Gypsy broadcasts every Monday night. It's the 3-day weekend. The unofficial 3-day weekend is the Hangover Takeover. Check them out every Monday night, and I will be crashing their show again soon. They must expect me. Now, since we're adding pumpkin, I'm going to say let's do cinnamon in here as well, because cinnamon and pumpkin are, well, they're synonymous. How would I come off with that pun? Synonymous cinnamon. Okay. Oh man, I'm glad that happened. I just love a pun. Okay, so this milk is almost ready. I can just smell. It's just the permeating aroma of the cannabis essence in the milk is really, really nice right now. So we're almost there with that. Milk does reduce a little bit, so you don't want to leave it on too long, because then your measurement will kind of go off a bit. All right, so we got condensed milk with a stubborn lid. That is okay. Hang on one second. Try not to make too much mess here if I can. There we go. Careful. He's going for it. He doesn't care. He braves the jagged edges. So I'm going to turn the heat off on this now, because this milk is good. It's at a good temperature. It'll infuse just a little bit more and cool down slightly while we're working on other areas of prep here. So we have this condensed milk, and what I'll do is I'll go on ahead and put that in there. Now remember, this is almost 2/3 of what we're going to have. It's almost 2 cups. It's 14 ounces, 16 ounces. You have 2 cups. That's your condensed milk right there, and it adds sweetness. Remember, you don't really have to add sugar to this because this condensed milk does add sweetness to the flan. Okay, look at that goodness right there. Oh my God. Oh. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of regular milk in there. Oh. Or I'll spill it all over the place, and that little bit of regular milk will account for the rest of the 2 cups. Okay, so this is about what I actually spilled in. There's a good probably a good off the hand measurement for completing the 2-cup measurement there, and then our 3rd cup obviously is the medicated milk there. So and this is kind of dissolving a little bit of, like, I'm big on waste. Like, I don't like to waste anything. So and yeah, you don't really have to do what I'm doing right now. You don't have to sit here and swirl the milk around in the can and try to get the last bit of condensed milk that you can, but I don't know. I'm all about economy. So we got some more out of it. There's still a little bit stuck in there, but it's not too bad. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to transfer this milk into this vessel here in a strained fashion. And then we'll probably transfer it to another vessel after we strain it a second time. The first time we're gonna strain the big chunks out. Swirl this around a little bit so we catch the bits off the sides. Okay, so here's your medicated milk full of weed that we sauteed, or we didn't saute, we simmered just a little bit on the stove top here. Remember, if you're using gas, you have to be way more careful with medicating your milk. Medicating your milk, medicating oil, gas is definitely a little tougher. All right, so try to move it around so you get the pulps out. All right, so we filtered our big chunks out. And then one thing you can do when you have all that in there is you stick a spoon in and you press it. Press it with a spoon. Don't press and rub it against the surface of the strainer though, because you'll end up pushing chunks through. Get that medicated goodness. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a regular spoon, because a regular spoon will give me the angle that I need to get in there. Because that other spoon's too big. So now I go, yeah, there we go. All that medicated goodness. Decarboxylated, fully activated, medical quality. Just, this is nice milk that has a kick to it, a special note. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna filter the milk just one more time to make sure there's no little chunks. We see a couple chunks, and maybe it's not a huge deal because we're putting the pumpkin in there and everything, but I wanna show you guys how to do it if you're not gonna have anything in your flan. You don't, just plain flan will show any impurities or whatnot that's in it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and strain this again, and I'm gonna get let me get a vessel, another vessel. I just keep using the word vessel. I don't know why I'm obsessed with the word vessel. And here we go. So this is a finer mesh, and so we're just pouring. See, you got little chunks in there still, and that finer mesh picked them all up. Wow, look at that. That was actually a little surprising to me. That's how much was in there still, even though I filtered it once. So you go through and you filter it a couple times, and you catch all those chunks out. You strain the one first, and then this one you don't really need to strain. I mean, you don't strain anything out of that. There's nothing in there. All right, so we've moved forward. I'm going to wash our spoon off because it has wee chunks on it. This show is brought to you by the power of the Blumhouse Media Network. Blumhouse Media is a consortium of cannabis brands that support legalization, patients' rights, and knowledge about cannabis, as well as cannabis and entertainment. We have partners like 420 Smokers Club, Blunts and Bongs, Zadal's Entertainment, Marijuana Heroes, Drug Possession Laws, and our friends at budguru.com. Big shout out to them as well. Check out Marijuana Heroes on Twitter, and all the stuff that they're doing, keeping you connected to the industry and following people who actually move the industry forward and help the industry out. That's our oven. So on that, the oven interrupted my endless chattering, because I will talk forever. You guys know how I roll. So I'm going to stick this here. The oven says ready. So we're going to go ahead and mix everything in. Now I have the condensed milk in here with like a little bit of regular milk. Very thick, very crazy. And now we have our medicated milk. So I'm going to stick that medicated milk in there with the condensed milk. And it's going to be good too because that medicated milk is hot, so it'll help loosen that condensed milk up a little bit. Mix this. So look at the consistency there. Alright, so yeah, get this all mixed in. Get those to dissolve together. Medicated milk in with condensed milk. This is where all the active cannabis is in here. Now with measurements, I think what would be appropriate with this would be for us to add maybe a full teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, since this is a somewhat robust portion. So I'm just gonna eyeball it, a few drops. A little more than I should have, but not much. Maybe a teaspoon and a half altogether. Organic vanilla. If you can get organic, go organic. It's always my recommendation. Okay, so now things are gonna get a little more interesting. Now we're going to add the eggs. And with eggs, if you can get a fancy beater or a whisk or something crazy like that, do it. If you can't, then use a fork. The fork's the best in my mind. Or you can even use a blender. You get it all in there. Remember, 6 eggs because we used 3 cups of milk, condensed milk, and medicated milk all mixed together. So now we're gonna mix these eggs up. And you guys know me, I don't like to waste, so I try to get every last drop of egg in there. Yeah, so now we are getting the eggs mixed in. We still have a little bit more to put in. A couple more ingredients here. Now while I got this going, one thing I do need to do is I need to get this pan clean that that I medicated the milk in because it still has weed particles in there. And what I'll do is I'll get that cleaned up because we're going to put the milk back in here and we're going to cook it again once it has the eggs, the puree, and everything in it. To get this cleaned real fast. And if you guys are watching, please follow me, Robert Blunt 420. Follow me on Snapchat. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. You will see behind the scenes stuff that I'm doing, all the extra footage. If you guys want to see what kind of shit that I get into when I'm not doing the show. We'll also be doing giveaways. We're going to set up a club that you guys can get double entered into our giveaways. So if you enter for a giveaway, we enter your name twice. So we're going to have a setup like that in not too long. So if you follow me on my socials, Robert Blunt 420, you'll get updates on all our giveaways and how we're handling those and who wins and what's coming up. We're going to have some pretty cool stuff to give away. Some vaporizers, some glass, all kinds of different stuff. All right, so we have our eggs in there. We have our medicated milk in there, condensed milk. We have some vanilla in there. Next thing we want to throw in here is a little bit of cinnamon. I just eyeball it. You know, just think of how much cinnamon you'd like to be in there. Now with pumpkin, you want a good amount of cinnamon. You know, I feel like that looks good. You know, I'm an eyeballer on some stuff. People kind of get frustrated. And I want to disclaim on this real quick. I'm not a chef. I've not told anybody that I'm a chef. I never claimed to be a chef. I love to cook. I worked in the restaurant industry for a long time. And I enjoy food. I enjoy preparing food and watching people enjoy my food. But I'm not a chef. I don't claim to be. I do recommend people look into safe kitchen practices. If you're going to cook for other people, look into food handling, how you're supposed to clean your surfaces and handle your knives and stuff like that. I'm not a professional, but I can whip up some mean-ass food, and that's why I do the cooking show. So we are almost ready to get this into its first process of being cooked. Now, medicating the milk adds like a third process. It makes it to where you have to do 3 total things to get it done. Pumpkin puree, you know, if you can get, this is all natural with no preservatives. You get organic, it's better. You know, just like I said, try to get the highest quality ingredients for your food because people will be able to taste that. And in goes the pumpkin puree. Ooh, it's a little stubborn. It's coming out. Now, if you can get fresh pumpkin for this, by all means. I mean, I like to be extreme with my cooking sometimes and get all fresh ingredients, but today, for the sake of the show, we're not going to like cut up pumpkins and throw them in the blender. But if you do want to do this, you get a fresh pumpkin, you cut it up and you throw it in the blender and you can make your own fresh pumpkin puree. Any pumpkin, even Halloween pumpkin, those types. Get the last bit of this shit out of there. Get out of there, damn you. If you guys are watching, please like the page. It would be really weird that you're watching the show and you didn't like our page. So follow us. Get updates. Click on after you follow us, click on get updates so you know when we go live and when we have contests and giveaways. We're gonna have some special guests coming up. We're gonna have musical guests. We have a real big musical guest coming up soon. The name of their band rhymes with 311. Oops. Guess I gave it away. But we'll be announcing when that comes on. We'll be announcing when they come in. We're really excited. And that's a huge Marijuana Heroes segment because these guys are super interested in what's going on with the cannabis industry. And for successful musicians to step into the sphere and validate cannabis and the cannabis industry in the community helps. It helps us fight the stigma. Who can argue with these guys? They're successful. They've created a very, very successful enterprise and brand. And they want to promote the industry. They believe in the industry. So we really want to highlight them. We'll have them on the show soon. This is really coming down to a nice consistency. We put a bunch of cinnamon in there. Just in case y'all are wondering, that's not weed, that's cinnamon chunks. Sometimes cinnamon clumps a little bit and it's a challenge to get it mixed up. But I'm all over it, believe me. Now if you have a mixer, if you have a KitchenAid, if you have whisks even, that's great. I'm using a fork for all this. Woo-wee! This is a hell of a workout, guys. Okay, so our batter looks pretty good. Nice consistency. We've added all the ingredients: cinnamon, vanilla, condensed milk, medicated milk, eggs, and pumpkin puree. So now it's time to move to the next step where we're going to cook this up, and then we'll be ready to bake it. I'm going to go ahead and get the heat going here. We kind of low at first. And into the pan we transfer. Medicated, pumpkin-y flan batter. Oh God. You know what I'm thinking is, I'm thinking like a flavored flan batter for the French toast. Like, why even just stop at flan batter? Why not do this? Wouldn't pumpkin French toast be fucking dope? And then like chocolate or strawberry flan batter French toast, or blueberry flan batter French toast. We can go any direction with this. All right, so now we're gonna turn the heat up just a little bit, since we can kind of keep our eye on it. If I don't lose my spoon, make sure you have a clean kitchen, because it helps you find your stuff. You know, I like to clean as I go. I like to clean before I go and as I go. But if you don't have a lot of stuff moving around and you have ADD like me, then it'll be easy to keep up with your stuff. Otherwise, you might lose everything, because I lose everything throughout the day. So I got my spoon. I'm stirring this this batter. What we're going to do is we're going to stir it until we start to see the steam rise off of it. Kind of like what we were doing earlier when we were infusing the milk. We were medicating that milk. We waited until we saw the steam rise off of the batter or off of the milk. So we have this. I'm going to turn the heat up a little more, intensify this a bit. And that process of high heating it, getting it to just about a simmer, is half of the cooking process for flan. This looks really good. I think this is going to be incredibly delicious. Like, woo! I'll tell you what. Please give us a follow. Follow this page. Follow our supporting pages too. Go check out 420 Smokers Club. Check out Blunts and Bongs. Go check out Drug Possession Laws. Check out our friends at ZenLive.tv. I want to give a big shout out to Blunt House Media. Blunt House Media powers our broadcast. Blunt House Media is the top social media name in cannabis, promoting dozens of brands, personalities, businesses, and are actually working on some new projects. And if you guys follow them on their social, Blunt House Media on Twitter, you can kind of see what the company's getting into. You can introduce yourself in a way to the staff members at Blunt House Media, see the guys who actually are behind the magic. I'm just a dude with a spoon. They are the ones who make this possible. So big shout out to Blunt House Media. Thank you guys. And then of course, Marijuana Heroes. We had a great time out there in Denver before we came back out here to DC with Marijuana Heroes. Tommy out there. And of course, you guys, as you know, Game of Thrones tonight is coming on. It's the last episode of the season. Makes me a little sad. I'm sure it's making some of y'all sad. Hang in there. It's going to be all right. You know, next season will come. But at least you can, hey, if y'all are cooking with me, at least you can have some medicated flan after to deal with the depression. You can dig into this flan to smother the sadness of losing Game of Thrones. Now, of course, flan needs a period of time to cool down. You'll be tempted to eat the hot flan as a pudding or whatever, and if you do that, I won't judge you. I've done it many times. But if you want the flan consistency, you want to be really flanny, then be disciplined. Leave it in the refrigerator for a few hours. I would recommend 3 hours at least. 2 hours where it's cold temperature, because the entire contents of the flan will take a while to cool down inside the refrigerator. But it's really good to cook it at night and leave it overnight in the fridge. Then you wake up in the morning, you can have a flan breakfast. I'm not really a proponent of flan for breakfast, but like I said, if you do it, how could I blame you? Please follow the page. The like button is that direction, I think, or up there. It's either up there or there. They flip the camera on me sometimes. It's hard for me to tell. So like the page. Please follow our page. You know, we've been basing a lot of broadcasts off this page. It's a brand new page for the radio show. So, and the web series, radio show / web series. We had Rick Simpson on Friday. So you can check out that broadcast. If you go to marijuanaheroes.com Facebook page. We had a full interview with Rick Simpson where he answered questions from the audience and just kind of went over what he's working on, projects that he's working on, his history as a figure in the cannabis industry. We have some other really cool guys. Stoner Jesus is coming on Wednesday. Huge show with Stoner Jesus. We're going to have a special edition show with him. We're going to do some kind of a weird stoner activity that requires some cognizance. So we'll see how that works out. And if you're just joining us now, every Sunday we have Blunt Force Kitchen. The Blunt Force Kitchen edition of Blunted Radio, where we cook a medicated recipe and we show you guys how to do it. Now, Blunt Force Kitchen is going to build in an ingredients post before our shows. We're going to start releasing the ingredients to what we're going to make so you guys can prepare it and cook it with me. You can have everything ready, and then when a show starts, you can cook while I cook. That's something that we had some requests for, so now we're working on building that, and I think right in the next few weeks we'll have ingredients for you guys. But to know the recipe and to know how to make it, you got to tune in. So you're not getting any easy recipes off of me. You got to watch me. You got to watch my beard and stuff for a while. So we're getting pretty close to where this will be ready to be baked. The oven is preheated to 350, ready to rock and roll. The batter, we've added all our ingredients. Starting to feel some heat coming off of it. It's good to see that steam rising off it because that's a good indicator that it's ready. Looking at it at an angle and I'm not seeing much. I'm seeing a tiny bit of steam. I want to see a little bit more and then we'll be ready to go. So, and feel free to leave your comments. I'll do a few shout outs before the show's over. So if you guys want to shout out, put where you're from, put your real name and where you're from, and I'll do a few shout outs before the show is over. If you guys have a birthday or want to do birthday shout outs, let me know. And I'll do a birthday shout out. Make sure you follow me on Snapchat, RobertBlunt420. RobertBlunt420 on Snapchat. You'll get to see some behind the scenes shenanigans of mine. And follow me on Facebook at RobertBlunt420 and Instagram at RobertBlunt420. It's hard for me to say. I did take a lot of dabs right before this, so please excuse me. This is coming together pretty good. I see a lot of steam coming off of it now. You know, it's like a nice steady supply of steam coming off. Now I've kept it stirring constantly so that it wouldn't have chunks cooked within it. That's a big risk with flan batter. If you're not stirring it right, chunks of it will cook through and through, and you'll have them floating in there. I see one or two in here, but it's not bad at all. It's really, really, really manageable. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat off on that. This flan batter has been stirred and heated adequately for it to be ready to be applied and put into our oven. So now the next big step is we're going to take this flan batter and we're going to put it into the dish that we lined earlier with caramel, with that melted sugar caramel. So here we have melted sugar caramel coated. You can see it's already cracking a little bit, shattering on the bottom of there, coating the bottom of this this Corningware. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pour this hot batter in there. Can get a little splashy. Oh, I can smell the cannabis in it too. It is aromatic, it is activated, and it's going to be the flan that punches you in your face. Get all that batter in there. I'm going to save a little bit just for the fuck of it. Eat a little bit of that flan batter while you guys ain't watching. So, okay, so now we have almost everything done. We have the caramel lined pan, Corningware pan that has the flan batter in it after it's been cooked. Now we're going to put it in the water bath here. We have a Pyrex glass that's full. I don't know, maybe somewhere around to bury your hand or to cover your hand in the water. Okay, so then we're going to take this, we're going to set it right in the middle. Right in the middle. So there's a buffer for when this is baking. Okay, so now we got our oven preheated to 350. So we're going to stick it all in there. But be careful. You don't want to spill everywhere. I'm a very clumsy dude, so I will spill more often than not. Alright, so it's in there. And the recommendation is usually 30 minutes to an hour. I'll usually do about 45 minutes. So I'm going to set it to 45 and let it bake in there. So here we go. All right, so you guys basically saw how we make medicated flavored flan. If you guys want to check out some more cool recipes, we will be doing this show every Sunday. It's called Blunt Force Kitchen. We have just put this flan inside the oven to bake. It needs about an hour, it needs about 45 minutes, somewhere around there. So, like any responsible cooking show would do, I had prepared one earlier so you guys could take a look at it. Now, this one's a different flavor, and we're going to slam this one. We're going to slam dunk this one tonight. This is chocolate chunk flan right here. As you can see, the caramel crust is just sitting on the outside there, waiting for people to chisel it off. and crunch on that too. So what you do with flan usually is you take a plate like so, and you flip that fucker just like that, and then you shake it a little bit. It should come out. It's being a little stubborn. I'm gonna help it out with the knife. The flan says, no, I don't want to come out. I went heavy on the caramelized sugar, so it's kind of holding it in like a glue. There it goes. Boom! So there it is. This is chocolate chunk flan right here. I guess I could have had it centered on the plate a little better so it looks nicer. So this is what your flan will look like. It can have a more dense arrangement depending on what you put in. We put raw cacao in this one. So this flan has raw cacao in it. This is your caramel. You see that caramel? Now it's like a soft, it's a syrup. Oh man. Okay, and then here we have chocolate chunk flan there. I'm gonna get a little bite of this. I think a sampling is in order. You go, good sir. No? Yes? No? Come on, you can't say no. All right. This one has a real dense arrangement. The one in here will probably be dense too. So that's your flan. You got some caramel syrup in there. And then you have a little bit of extra in here. See how that's running down, all that caramel syrup? You get that. You drip that caramel glaze syrup all over it. You get a close up on that caramel drippage there. Yeah. You don't want to waste that caramel syrup. It's where all the action is. All right. So I'm gonna read a few comments, and then we're going to do a few shout outs, and then we're gonna let you guys watch some Game of Thrones. I'm gonna get extremely high. Yeah, I figure I'd just let you guys know that. So let's see some comments here, and we're going to. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, which is the reason why I do this show. I only do it for the viewers. I really want you guys to know what I like to cook, what recipes I enjoy. You know, it's a personal side for me because I enjoy cooking as a person. It's one of my personal hobbies. So if I can medicate and share some of my favorite recipes with you, I think it's kind of a cool process. So I'm going to go ahead and start scrolling down and reading off some comments and giving some shout outs here. Let me see what we got. I'm going to scroll up just a little bit. I'm going to do shout outs, and then I'm going to reach down and answer some questions. Javier C. Sandoval asked, what are you making? And this is medicated flan tonight was what we were cooking. We were cooking medicated flan. What is it? What it is called flan is what Steven. Okay, so big shout out Javier, Noah, Stefan, big shout out. Thank you for watching the show. Head honcho, Ray Rodriguez, thank you for tuning in. Javier, Damien, Jay, Julio, thank you for watching the show. Julio Velasquez, Mindolio, Javier, Damien, Ree Parker, Edgardo, Travis Clausen. Hey, I remember Travis Clausen. Yeah, but remember Travis. Flan is Cuban. It is a Cuban dish. Craxy Love, thank you for watching the show. Chase, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, I've read your name before. Arturo, Cindy, Heather, Seno. Is it Seno or is it Seno? I'm not sure. I was thinking John Cena, kind of in a way. Anwar, Jireh, Mooney, making money. Money making money. That's not your real name. But thank you for watching. Quan Herrera. Chris, thank you for watching. Austin, I know I'm reading some people's names over and over, but I'm doing the best I can here, so give me a break. Aim, thank you. No. Aim, remember, raw eggs, we're cooking those eggs. We mix the batter, we bake it. Now, right now, it's baked in the oven here, so we got it in a glass, in a water bath, in the Tupperware. It's all baking. So, and even the batter was cooked and simmered in a pan before we added it to the Corningware in which it bakes at the moment. Destiny said, "Why drink it?" I didn't drink anything hot. Adam, thank you for watching the show. Christine is awesome. Thank you, Christine, for watching the show. You're the best ever. Patrick, thank you for watching the show. Ryan, Chaz, thank you for tuning in. Chaz, Jennifer, Noah, Leon, Adam, Ryan, Terrence, Drew, Andre, Jason, Albert George, Jennifer Lively, Adam Locke, Pearl, thank you. Adam, Drew, Alex, NIC Bills. Is that your real name? Probably not, but thank you for watching as well. Adam Locke, Ryan. I know I'm reading some of these names 4 or 5 times. There's 2 Alexes. If there's more than 2 Alexes, if your name is Alex, then thank you for watching, even if you're not one of the Alexes I just saw on here. Strain used for this episode is mystery weed. It is weed that was gifted to me from a lot of friends, so I don't know the specific strain. I would recommend you go with your best strain for your desired effect. If you want a day full of activity and you're going to eat your flan early in the day, I would recommend that you use a sativa or a sativa dominant strain. If it's late at night, if dessert's going to be the last thing you eat, flan's going to be the last thing you do before you go to sleep, maybe throw some indica in there. Your flan will set you right in the bed and puff your pillow for you. So let me read a few more things here. Alex says Sparta. You're right. This is the Leonidas beard. I went for the Leonidas when I grew this beard and groomed it, and I continue to work on it. And I will have a beard care video coming out, medicated beard care video for you guys to check out. Andre Chartrand, big shout out to you, buddy. Thank you for watching the show. Gordy Flan is really good. You're completely right. Let me see. What do we got? What do we got? I'm trying to see if we have some questions here. Epilepsy. Logan, thank you for watching. Meg, thank you for watching. Meg, thank you. It's your first time watching. I appreciate you tuning into the show. Every Sunday we do Blunt Force Kitchen, and we have Marijuana Heroes editions. We have the High Art series, and of course Blunted Radio, the regular edition, which broadcasts Monday night and Friday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We are going to have Stoner Jesus on Wednesday for the Marijuana Heroes edition, and on Friday we may have another surprise guest. We're going to do some on-location broadcasts while I'm here in D.C. too. We have some really exciting guests coming on, people in the industry, people who are activists and advocates, and then also some people who are just damn good growers. So a lot of great stuff to do out here in D.C. to cover. Please follow the page, like the page. Thank you, Meg, very much. I really appreciate you tuning in. We really like to have as many people watch the show and spread the word about the show. If you think anybody would enjoy it, it's a chill time. You know, Blended Radio is always a chill time. We have a special video that will be coming up. It's called The Harmonica. We're going to review that one in the next few days. We have another one where we have a blunt video with me and my homie Davis, and I can't tell you too much about that. I don't want to spoil it, but it has to do with us, and we have a blunt, and something amazing happens. Something incredible happens. I can't let any clues out. So I think what we're going to do is we're probably going to go ahead and call it a night. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. I want to give a big shout out to Blunt House Media. Just to let you guys know, the flan is still cooking. We got about 34 minutes left on the flan. So, when that's done, I'm going to take it out. And then you want to set it out here on the surface to cool down for probably like an hour. And then after an hour of it cooling down, you're going to stick it in the fridge, and you're going to stick it on top of a towel in the fridge so that it doesn't crack the glass because of the temperature change. So you put it on top of a towel inside the refrigerator, and a shout out for you, Daryl. My good friend Daryl is watching the show tonight. Daryl W.A. Nicholson, thank you for watching. Milligrams, I don't know. We eyeballed it. You have to know your tolerance. I would go 10 milligrams at a time on tolerance. So notice your portions. Notice your overall infusion. Break it down. Don't eat too much. Eat it slowly. Give yourself 30 to 45 minutes for an effect to start kicking in. Maybe even an hour before for a medicated food effect to start kicking in. Some people make the mistake of having something medicated. They eat it, they eat an edible, they think it's not working, and so they eat more because, oh, I gotta get high, this isn't working, and then they end up getting too fucking high. They get way too fucking high, and it fucks everything up. So, one last quick look at our flan, our finished product here, with amazing succulent caramel sauce. Delicious, amazing. Now this one is chocolate chunk flan. I made it with raw cacao. The other one is pumpkin flan. And look at that. Medicated gorgeousness. Lovely. And the texture can vary. You can add less eggs if you want it to be a little more soft. More eggs if you want it to be more firm, almost like a cake. Mmm. Oh my god. Mmm. Mmm. So, like I said, we're coming towards the end. Damn it, that's so good. Don't make this flan. I'm warning you. If you make this flan, it will ruin other flans for you. You'll never be able to eat other flans and be happy again. This is the flan to end all flans. So, I want to thank Blumhouse Media, Sadal's Entertainment, Marijuana Heroes, Blunts and Bongs, 420 Smokers Club, The Bud Guru, all our friends and partners out here, my homie Lee, my sister Jessica, my beloved sister, and you guys, please like the page. Please follow our socials. Robert Blunt 420. Follow my socials to see what I'm doing. Follow me on Snapchat. And we'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna vaporize and watch some Game of Thrones, and I recommend you guys do it too. Follow, like the page. Peace out. Have a good night. God bless you. Stay lifted.